Good evening and welcome to the Thai PBS World. The Foreign Ministers meeting of ASEAN and ASEAN Regional Forum finished in Bangkok over the weekend, and it was the opportunity to highlight relations of ASEAN and other regional grouping, partnership of ASEAN with partner and regional grouping like EU as well. Today I interviewed Polish Ambassador to Thailand on Poland-Thailand relations and relations between EU and ASEAN. Poland is a country located in Central Europe. The country has a population of about 38.5 million. It is the sixth most populous country among the 28 members of the European Union. After a series of war and conflicts in Europe and with Soviet Union, and after the revolutions of 1989, Poland established itself as a presidential democratic republic. Nowadays, Poland is a developed country. It is the sixth largest economy by GDP in the EU. The country is in a group of high-income economy with high standards of living, education, and economic freedom.
That somehow you belong to this.
I asked Polish Ambassador to Thailand, Waldemar Dubaniowski, to share his view on relations of Poland with EU and ASEAN. I began by asking him bilateral relations between Thailand and Poland.
Thai people and especially potential Thai investors should know that Poland is one of the most successful members within the European Union, because we are sixth largest European Union economy. Our GDP growth is really the highest, and we are extremely interested from the location point of view. They are very objective and neutral factors which usually helps you to take the decision where to invest. And of course, there are specific areas in Poland. We are extremely dedicated to invite investors, and of course this is like all this engineering factor, like food industry, like chemistry, like pharmaceutical business. So there's quite a few areas which are very interesting and important from the potential point of view of investors.
Poland have very many talents in terms of IT, in terms of startup, and you are the sixth largest economy of EU. To what aspect do you see that the two countries can be working more closer in terms of the digital economy?
Potential startuppers, so cooperation among students. And what we observe, there's more and more students in Thailand interested in coming to Poland, and especially in this engineering sector. So they would like to know a bit more about Poland. They would like to study in Poland. They would like to have friends in Poland. So, and this is always a good beginning to start with.
What do you think is lesson learned among EU members, and what should ASEAN look at you and learn from you as well from EU cooperation?
You know, I think that sometimes I've got the impression that should have been avoided by ASEAN, that the level of bureaucracy, which sometimes can observe in some of the European institutions. And of course, it's sometimes exaggerating, but I know that simple you can operate, sometimes the better. So this is probably the first thing. And the second thing, which rather not to avoid, but just on the contrary, you should have closer look at European Union, is the free movement of people, free movement of goods, and because it will support your economy. I mean, your not only Thai economy, but ASEAN economy.
Poland has good relation with ASEAN, with EU, but with ASEAN Indo-Pacific outlook, it's mean the position between ASEAN and China and India as well. To see things in perspective, do you see opportunity coming out of this in terms of relations between Poland, ASEAN and Thailand?
We are one of the largest European Union members, so definitely I can see the place for Poland in this situation to be a bit more active player, because from our perspective, sometimes it would have been probably a bit easier to talk to some of the partners, either in Asia or in Europe. So, and we already did it several times in the past, that our Polish diplomats have been involved in many difficult negotiation processes which took place in the past. For example, after Iraq war had finished, it was also Polish diplomats who had been very much engaged in this in the negotiation process. And so currently the Polish President of European Union Council. So in the next European Union Parliament there will be Polish Deputy President of European Parliament. So I think all in all there is still a chance for Poland to be engaged.
But to see it as regional grouping, do you think it's on the right track of ASEAN to have outlook to strengthen together, perhaps to support the whole region in terms of security, in terms of trade? The
stronger cooperation within the Indo-Pacific area will also support and strengthen the security within the region. So there is practically only the activity without any negative consequences. So practically everybody should have been happy with this, with such an approach.
With the Thai-Poland diplomatic relations, it officially began on 1972.
Yeah.
But actually it can be traced back to King Rama V of Thailand when he visited Poland.
His Majesty King Rama V had a chance to visit Poland. He even wrote the letter that he liked the place when he was staying in Warsaw. It was a very nice park, palace surrounded by the green area, that many Thai people knew that King Rama V had a chance visiting Poland. King Rama VI, he had a chance study in UK. He wrote his dissertation about Poland. So it means that somehow King Rama VI must have been those days to some extent fascinated about the Polish politics, Polish position. So even back then, in the past, you can find some sort of tracks which leads to the conclusion that those days the good relation between Poland and Thailand already began. This is the truly symbol of Poland.
A remarkable sculpture in the embassy is Chopin, wrote by renowned Polish composer and pianist in his era. During 1810 to 1849 of his life, he was described as a poetic genius based on a professional technique that was without equal in his generation.
The place when King Rama V stayed those days during his visit to Poland, it is the place which is called Łazienki Park, and in this place nowadays there is a very nice Chopin monument, and in summer every second Sunday there is the piano concert, piano recital taking place in this park. So I'm pretty sure that somehow, if you are going to visit Łazienki Park, you can imagine that a couple of hundred years ago, it was one of the Thai king who had the chance of visiting this beautiful park. And maybe even those days, you could have a chance to listen to Chopin's music.
What do you think is the strong ingredient of success of Poland in the past 50 years to build up a country?
I know this is the combination of different factors. First of all, definitely we are very hardworking. The people in Poland belong to one of the most ambitious and most hardworking people in the world. Sometimes I remember that a lot of people used to work 10, 12 hours a day, but they knew and they believe that it will pay them off. And indeed, they could have a chance to achieve a success. This is the first factor. The second factor, and very important, or equally important, is education system.
Yes, I do believe that it's free education, isn't it?
Generally speaking, of course, we have the combination, because of generally speaking, there's the free education, but at the same time, there are also the possibility to enter the private school, but the free public education is on a very high and good level. So if you have a chance to look at all these PISA ranking, that usually Poland is being ranked very high. So the education is extremely important. People in Poland are hardworking, very well educated, and I would say people in Poland, generally speaking, are not afraid to take the risk. And of course, if you are not afraid to take the risk, it's usually it also pay you off.
And that's all from Thai PBS World tonight.